this is Hans at jqMobi. The video we're going to show you today is going to take the jqMobi kitchen sink template for Windows Phone 8 that we are making available, load it into Microsoft Visual Studio, and then show it within the emulator and test on the emulator. A couple of prerequisites that you're going to need in order to work with Windows Phone 8 and jqMobi are the Pro version of Windows 8 installed on your development machine. You're going to also need the Windows Phone SDK 8.0 and a Windows Phone developer account to fully be able to develop. Also, you're obviously going to need Visual Studio. 2012 is what we're using. You're going to need that as well. To start the new project, what you're going to want to do is do File, New Project, and then you're going to want to make sure that you're working with the Windows Phone app. So whichever language you're working in our case Visual C#, we're going to make sure you pick Windows Phone and a Windows Phone app. Give your application a name. We'll call ours WPA jqMobi KS for jqMobi Kitchen Sink. Okay. And then you have a choice of operating systems for the phone platform. We're going to be using Windows OS 8.0. And we're going to go ahead and create our project. Once your project is created, the next step is to get the template that you want to use for jqMobi Kitchen Sink. In order to get the template, you can go visit NuGet at nuget.org and do a search for jqMobi, and you'll see that there are quite a few jqMobi templates available to you. The ones that we're going to be interested in today are the ones that deal with Windows Phone 8. There's also some for the Windows 8 store. The Windows Phone 8 templates are down near the bottom of the list. There's several available to you. There's Game Sample, and then there are 2 jqMobi samples available. There's a simple template for HTML development with jqMobi, and then there's the jqMobi Kitchen Sink template, which basically has all the jqMobi information in it, and that's the one we're going to work with today. So you select that one, and what you want to do is you want to copy the install package command from that page. So simply copy that, and then you're going to return back to your Visual Studio. You're going to go to View, Other Windows, and open up the Package Manager console. Once you're within the Package Manager console, at the PM prompt, paste in your install package command that you just copied. Hit Enter. And if you keep your eye over here on the right hand side in the Solution Explorer, as that package gets installed, you'll see it expands to include all of the jqMobi information that's needed in order to work and develop a Windows Phone 8 app within Visual Studio for you. And we've added things in here. The HTML directory adds the jqMobi project, and we also added the jqMobi page XAML files that will be needed, as well as some other stuff. So once you have that all installed, you will notice that we also by default show you a README file. This README file gives you some basic instructions about what the template contains, what it's used for, and also items that you may need to change to get it to work within this environment. I'm going to walk through those steps as well, but it is available to you there in the README file as well. The first thing you're going to need to do is make sure that this project actually accesses the jqMobi page XAML that we supply for you. What you want to do is go to the Properties directory and modify the wm-app-manifest XML file. So we'll open that up, and what you need to change in here is you need to update the navigation page to access the jqMobi page. So you just simply change main page to jqMobi page and save that the manifest file out. Now you are set up to run with the jqMobi Kitchen Sink template, and that's really all there is to it. You can just go ahead and start working with it now. What we're going to do is we're going to show it to you in the Windows Phone 8 emulator. If you notice up at the top of Visual Studio, you have a couple emulators available to you. You have a 512 WVGA 512, you have a 720p, you have a VGA, XGA. I'm going to show you today a couple examples of both 512 and the 720. what you do is you select 512, you just simply click on it. At the bottom you'll notice the project's loading. Now the emulator is starting to load. Now, as you can see, the jqMobi kitchen sink app has been fully loaded in the emulator and it's ready for you to start working with. You can run through this on the emulator. You can, for example, go to the jq plugins section, look at the carousel, do some swiping with the carousel, go back to the main page. You can work with some of the jqUI, look at some of the transitions. So you can do like a slide up, back, slide down. Go into jqMobi and look at the stuff that's available for you and get examples of that. And that's pretty much it. To finish working with the emulator, as opposed to shutting the emulator down, return back to your Visual Studio, click on the Stop Debugging. You'll notice this leaves the emulator open and running, and it won't have to reload it the next time you want to restart it. You can simply come back into your index file, make some changes, and then restart it. And you'll notice it loads much quicker this time around. You want to change the emulators, simply go pick another one, restart it, and now you're in the other emulator. You can then start working in the emulator. You can move it to landscape mode, open the side nav, do a little bit of work with the side nav. Again, look at your transitions. Close your nav. You can also test on an actual device. If you have registered one using the Windows Phone SDK 8.0, you're allowed to register up to 3 devices per each development account. You can register those devices and then you can hook it up to your machine via the USB cord that you have for your device. You would just click on the device selection in the debug mode, and then you would be able to test on your actual device for jqMobi as well. That's pretty much it. As always, you can go to jqMobi.com to get all the latest information about jqMobi and the latest version of the software for your use.